Kyler Murray tore his ACL last season in Week 14 against the Patriots. He went on to have ACL surgery in January of 2023. If we're looking at overall kind of general consensus and looking at rehabilitation protocols and the more advanced ones, and we're starting to see now that they're having to rehabilitate for at least about 9 months before meeting some really good milestones and then progressing into some sport specific exercises onto then practices, getting over to game speed, and then seeing if they can actually return to sport. That can take a little while, more specifically with Kyler Murray, since he is a very mobile quarterback. In the previous seasons of quarterbacks who have torn their ACLs, they've actually been kind of pocket passers. They haven't really been mobile quarterbacks. For example, Joe Burrow, he was able to return, that following season, but he wasn't a very mobile quarterback. He stood in the pocket, delivered the ball, right? The other one was Carson Wentz, same thing. He was a little bit mobile, but not as mobile as Kyler Murray or as expected to be in that offense itself. The other quarterback that did return, a year later and did put up some impressive numbers was Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson actually tore his ACL back in 2017 in a Week 9 practice, but that was kind of earlier October, which then allowed him to rehabilitate and return for September, which gave him at least 10 to 11 months of rehab. Since Kyler Murray is already going to be on the 9-month critical line, anybody at that critical line has a higher risk for returning their ACL. And so, I expect that the Cardinals are going to, bring him on progressively, more specifically for this season. And so, right now in your redraft leagues, specifically in your superflex leagues, he's going anywhere between like 4th and 5th rounds. And in your redraft, he's going anywhere between 13 and 14. Again, I would consider and expect that he's probably going to be ramping up in September, so practice is going to be ideal to watch out for. And then, they might bring him along into October and November. As soon as he gets up into game speed, there is, fear, specifically in his case, since he is a very mobile quarterback, to cut again, more specifically at a very high pace again on that leg that he tore his ACL. And so, with Kyler Murray, I would, just consider that they might ramp it up, a little bit more progressively. He might not start off the season, but maybe coming in during the season itself. And so I expect him to be back this season, but not as quickly as I think he will.